friends, Stacy here with a creative session, and today what we're going to be making is a super easy fan fold fun fold. This measures a 5x7 card, so you've probably been seeing this already on social media, and I'm one to not jump into a fad or a tradition or whatever you want to call it when it comes out real quick. I kind of wait, I find out the easiest way how to make it, I get inspired, and then I come to you and I bring that to you. So I'm making one today. This is super easy. I'm using the Endless Love bundle and the stamp and thin cuts. I have used this plenty. You can find a lot of videos for inspiration down in my playlist. Also for you today, you will find a tutorial down in the description here on YouTube. So if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy my videos, I would appreciate it if you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything, as well as share my videos or comment. I love to know who's watching the replay, and I love to interact with you. So for today's project, you're going to need a pack of DSP. I'm using the Made with Love, so just two patterns because we're going to need two pieces of coordinating cardstock, and your basic white. All right, don't worry about any of the measurements. I'm going to read through them, but like I said, there is a tutorial for you and you'll find everything linked down below. So first, what we're going to do, my card base, I've opted to use the Poppy Parade. So this is 10 inches by 7 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this over to the 2-inch mark. Okay. And what we're going to do is we are just going to do a little tick mark. Let me zoom in and just bring this down. Okay. So not at the top, at the bottom. We're just going to do a tiny little tick mark. Am I getting that in there? There we go. Okay, so I can't even see. I'm going to bring you back up here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. So now my tick mark right there is at the top, and we are going to trim on an angle from that tick mark all the way down to the edge. So what you want to do there is bring this in your channel. Okay, and you want to line up. It might be hard for you to see, but I can see it. Line up your pencil mark and then the lower edge. Now I have to zoom out. And then the lower edge is going to be in your channel right there. Okay, so now you want to use your dark blade because we want to trim this off. So right there, trim that off, and you're going to keep this piece now. Okay, so just set that off to the side. Now you're going to bring this back in and you're going to bring it to the 5-inch mark. And you are going to score this. Okay, so that is your card base. All right, just going to bring this out for a second out of my way, and I'm going to come in with and I'm going to burnish that. So this now is my card base. See that? Love it, love it. Okay, so I trip myself up all the time because I just think the beauty out of making these cards sometimes it's just unbelievable. All right, so we can get these two out of the way for now. Now I'm going to come in with that other piece of Poppy Parade. This is cut at 4 inches by 6 inches, and all we're going to do here is we're just going to angle this. So from the top. Your top left to your bottom right, we are just going to trim in a diagonal. So again, you want to put the top in your channel right there where it cuts, your cutting channel, and the bottom in the bottom. And then you're going to come in with that dark blade, make sure it's pressed down tight. And you want to keep the top one. So keep the one that's in your right hand, and the other one, you can just set that aside for another project. Okay. So I'm going to keep that as well. Now, we're going to come in with that coordinating color of that matches my DSP, and I'm using the Summer Splash, and this is cut at 3.5 by 5.5, and we're going to do that same exact thing here. We're going to just angle this. So I'm going to put the top in my channel there and hold that down. Make sure my bottom is also in the cutting channel. If not, I would have moved it around, but it is. So now let me give you a tip here. Don't put, oh, when I start to cut, I always put my cutting blade into the middle of the project, not at the corner, because especially if I want a crisp point or an end, I would not want to start below it and go up because that'll make a blunt point. So I go that way. Okay. I just start in the middle so that I can go up and down and I get a crisp edge each time. So again, we're going to keep the top and we're just going to bring this away for another video. See what's happening here? It's starting to layer. You see the magic happening. Now, in that summer splash also, you're going to take another piece, and this is cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And what you're going to do on the 4 3/4 side, you're going to mark this at 2 3/4. So you're going to bring this over in your paper trimmer to 2 3/4. You're going to get your blades out of the way there, and you're just going to mark a little bit at the top. Okay, enough for you to see it. And then you guessed it, we're going to now cut from the top corner down to that bottom corner there. So get that in your paper trimmer, lined up, close it. You're going to want your dark blade. So we're going to start that in the middle there, close it. And there you have it. Now, you just want to take that piece. If you have any pencil marks showing, you just want to erase that. This is going to be a base for your card. Now, with this piece right here, along your straight edge, you're going to bring this back into your paper trimmer and you're going to cut off 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up. Let me make sure I'm at 1/4. And I am going to take off, where's my 1/4 of an inch, just like that. This piece is garbage, and you're going to set this piece aside. Okay. Next, we're going to come in with our DSP. This piece is cut at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and you guessed it, we're going to make a mark and trim on the 4 1/2 side. We're going to put this in our paper trimmer to 2 1/2, and we are going to make a notch there. Okay, we're going to bring that down in our paper trimmer and we're going to make sure our pencil mark is in our trimming guide there and the bottom piece is in the channel there. We're going to just trim that off. And if you have any pencil marks, you just make sure to erase that. All right, and now this piece here, you're going to want to trim off 1/2 of an inch. So you're going to put this in your paper trimmer and you're going to cut 1/2 of an inch. Okay, this piece you're going to save, this piece you're going to toss. Okay, moving right along. Now you're going to bring in that next piece of DSP, and this is cut at 3 by 5, and you are just going to diagonal this. All right, and you're going to keep that right piece, and you're going to keep this for another project. All right. Finally, you're going to come in with that basic white, and this is cut at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. You're going to put this in your paper trimmer at 2 1/2, and you are going to make a little pencil mark. And then you guessed it, you're going to bring this pencil mark into your paper channel there. You're going to slide that bottom over. You're going to bring up your blade, get that in position, and trim. And you are going to get rid of this piece. You do not need that. And you're going to pencil off anything that you need to there. And that is all we need our paper trimmer for. I'm going to get all my little notes out of the way now. And now what we are going to do is you're going to come in with your card base, and you're going to get, so I'm inverting mine. I'm doing the multi-hearts as my background and the XO as that middle fan there. I'm just going to reverse them. So now what you're going to do is you want to just bring out your favorite adhesive and get these layered down. My setup here is not quite ready for a 5x7 card. I don't traditionally create 5x7s. I'm more that A2 size, so it all kind of fits in frame. All right, and now you're going to take that DSP and the same deal, you're going to just adhere that down. And I got all nice points cutting properly into the paper. All right, and you're just going to lay this down as well, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our angled fans, whatever you want to call it. You have these three that fit together there, and then these three that fit together there. So you just want to adhere them either by using liquid glue or your tape runners, whatever works for you. Just make sure you get all those points. Just like that. These all fit nicely together. So this is all new product that I'm using that came out. Again, this is the Endless Love Bundle. And I have a tutorial that's available on my website that I had a card class in January, as well as you can pick up the pre-cut kit if you're interested in that. So here's one of your fans. Just set that aside, and now you're going to do the other one. So you're going to take that strawberry slush layer first, and that's going to go down to the Poppy Parade. And I tell you, the Poppy Parade has grown on me so much since Christmas. It could be one of my most favorite cardstocks, I think, right now. Okay, and then that DSP layer. Okay, and these are going to lay together. And then we're just going to do a little bit of stamping now. Move that down just. Oh, actually, this one's got to go down a little bit more. Hold on. Need this one to go down, show more. There you go. Okay. All right, so now I have those. Next, we are going to come back in with our card base. And you know what? I forgot to cut one layer here, and this is my strawberry slush. So you don't have to have this layer, but I want it. So let me get my strawberry slush. And this is 5x7. So you are going to want 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 for that inside layer. And I will be sure to double check this is on the tutorial. So 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And that should just do that fine. Yes, absolutely perfect. Okay, so that we just want to layer on the inside. This will be at the bottom, and our stamping layer will go on top. Just gives it a nice little pop of color in here. Okay. Now, see, now we're going to take that basic white, and just like I did in here, I'm going to do that light stamp and then the dark stamp over on top, but I'm going to use another one of the stamps, and then we're going to stamp this cluster at the bottom. So I'm going to use, with the bubble bath, this striped heart right there. And Bubble Bath is a nice light pink. So I'm just going to kind of put that right in the middle. Something I've been doing is just rubbing along on my surface to get a nice clean stamped image. That's all I need the Bubble Bath for. Now I'm going to come in with Poppy Parade. And this word love, that's so chunky. And I love the font of this, like bubble letters almost. Reminds me of like when I was in high school. And then I'm going to, in the center of that heart, just stamp love over on top. Perfect. Oh, and then I have the heart cluster, and I'm just going to put a little heart down here. Oh, my fingers are dirty, inky fingers. Right there. Okay, clean my fingers. Okay, and now we are going to adhere this down to the inside of our card base. And you don't see any of this because we cut it properly, that it's not going to stick out. So I'm going to bring my card base back in. Get it in place. See, perfectly covers. And there you go. You can write in here. You can also write in here. All right, so now for adhering those fans down. So you either want to use foam tape or dots. I'm going to use foam tape. I do have foam tape instead of using my dots because it's just right here and I like to use a lot of it. So what you want to do is you want to take this is like our middle fan here, and it's going to line up. Let me just zoom in for a second. It's going to line up with the edge of the card right there, okay? But I want to show you something. You should hold your hand there, hold this together, flip the card over. This part is exposed when you open the card. You see this, so you want to come back in with your pencil. If I can find my pencil, where is my pencil? Here it is. And you just want to make a light line like under that. Okay, just so I don't have to do any erasing. So now I know, let me bring this up. See up there? I know not to put adhesive foam tape past this because that's going to be exposed. So I'm going to come in. I use this foam roll. I get it off Amazon. Okay. I want to have foam tape at that itty bitty tip there. So I'm going to cut a very thin piece and put that as far as I could at the bottom there. Okay. And then I'm just going to fill this up with lots of foam tape, not going past where I shouldn't. Make sure you can't see that. Okay, and I need more there. You would use a lot of 3D dimensional or foam, and I don't want to waste a lot because I use a lot. So I'm just going to put this here, and that looks like it's enough. Just going to trim a little bit here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I can zoom out for this. Now we're going to pull all that backing off. I'm telling you, this is so easy. We didn't need dies or anything. And just be delicate pulling that one off so it doesn't go anywhere. See, it wants to leave, so I'm like holding my finger down on it. I hope you like this. And I hope you haven't made a fan card yet and you're going to make one with me for the first time because this one is my first one I've ever made. All right. So again, I'm going to make sure I'm lined up now. Okay. I should have done this before I pulled the backing off, but I'll make sure not to put it down. When you have it lined up, you want to make sure, see how I'm kind of going off the card a little bit there? You want to make sure it lines up sort of like there. So you're not going off of the card. See what I mean? So that's where you want to line it up. So you're going to line it up with the point there and right to about there. And you have your little bit. leaning off there, and that's good. Just like that. Perfect. So now you're going to come in with that other piece, and we're going to do the same deal. But let me show you, since I don't have um, any adhesive on this. See, you want to make sure that one goes right about there. Okay, so we're going to come in with some more foam. And again, I'm going to get a piece, try to get a piece in that little area down there. Whoops. So I'm just going to come in as far as I can get down there without it showing. I think that's good. Okay. And up, but first we want to mark. Okay, so hold it. And right about there, give or take. Are you kidding me? Did I lose? No, here it is. Okay. So now when I flip this over, I know not to go above that line. Hard for you to see, but I could see it. And that's all that matters, that you see it, right? Not that I see it, that you see it. All right. So we want to put this here. Just load this up with some foam. Being mindful where you don't want to go past. Okay, I think that's good. Let's make sure. Yeah. Yes. So always line it up so you can kind of see. So I want to go right about there. I don't want to go, I want to go right about there. All right. So you're going to remove your backing. So you just play with it. I'm telling you, once you make one of these, it's so easy. It's a great way to use up some scraps, right? Because it doesn't use a lot of DSP. And sometimes we just have like that little bit left. Right about there. Perfect. Perfect. You don't see anything. And that's it. That's your fan card. Now, if you wanted to put something here, I'd probably stay away from that. Look at all the dimension there. Beautiful. So this is where you would want to have a punch and put a sentiment punch. So what I did is from that Endless Love dies, I cut out of the strawberry slush this charm. It's like a charm looking heart. I cut out the double small arrow out of some red glitter from my stash, and using the brushed silver foil, I cut out the cluster. Let me show you that die so you know which one it is. In the dies, right here, that's a die with those clusters. So I cut that just to get that larger one and put it on the top there. I adhered all this together with glue dots. So you could just now come in, and this is going to hang over a little bit of my card. That's totally fine, as you can see it here, depending on how your fans lined up. So you can either pop this up or put it directly down to the paper. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive and put it directly down to the paper. I think I have enough dimension, and I don't want to take um, away any image from any of the beauty away from the fan. Just hold that down a minute. And that stamp right there also comes from the Endless Love stamp set, but I had gone ahead and stamped that already in Poppy Parade. Okay, so that is it. That is our super easy fan card. This is the one we just made. This was my first one ever that I made, tried and true, and I just love the way it came out. Again, don't forget, I have a tutorial down for you in the description. And if you like this video, Definitely let me know in the comments. I love to interact with you and I love for you to follow me. So make sure to hit subscribe or follow me on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are on the platform. But I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Don't mind my nails. I need a manicure soon. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now.